Hello and welcome back to another Final Table commentary. If at any point in time you find yourself not caring for the commentary, there'll be a link in the description down below to the video and BCP Poker Replays YouTube account, so you can go check out that action in some silence. With that being said,
prepare for battle.
Oh yeah, let's go. We got Lex on the final table, we got Padilla, Milanov, we got Retro Cheetah, Lip Piv, Herring Boy, Zola, we got Pads, and we got Pax. This will be a fun one. Zola's going to get started off with the King and the Jack. Oh yeah, by the way, there's Padilla with the Ace King 3-bet. 5k PKO from Scoop 2023, that's what we're looking at. Doopity-doo, we see 70k for first place, 70k for second place. Gotta love how that's nice and even. Then you just battle it on out for the bounties. Herring Boy with an ace and a queen, they're going to rip it all in. It is suited. Looks like this one's going to get through. You know what? Retro Cheetah with a king and a 10. He could go bounty hunting. He does go bounty hunting. A king or a 10? Come on. Nope. Herring Boy gets the full double up. Was a 6k bounty on their head? Can't blame Retro Cheetah for going bounty hunting. Do-ba-dee-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. We see Padilla with an ace 4 offsuit from the cutoff. They're just going to lay this one down pre-flop. Milanov will fold the king 8 off. Retro Cheetah's going to limp on in the 10-8 offsuit. Lip Piv with a queen and a 5. Checks it on back. Ace 6-3 flop goes bet. And then Lip Piv has a weird spot here. Backdoor straight draws for them. Doopity-doo. They're going to play call queen on the turn. Good news for Lip Piv. The board is locked up for them. They can't know that though. The check on the turn will pretty well confirm it though. I mean, there's still some 6x and 3x and whatnot, but Retro Cheetah with no pair. Doopity-doo. We like the check back on the turn with the Queen X. We're going to get a little bluff ski out of Retro Cheetah. Lip Piv will eventually make the call and see the good news. I don't think we're ever folding here. 1.5 blinds? Can you imagine? No, not going to happen. Nice little play by Lip Piv. Only 1.5 blinds, but each little blind counts. Doopity-doo. Lip Piv with 41 blinds. They're in first place now. They got 9-7 suited. We'll see if they play from the small blind. I imagine they're going to let this go. Then Herring Boy. Oh, they do come along. Herring Boy with that ace and the 9. They're going to jam it all in here for 19 blinds. And this will get through for them. They'll be up to just under 25. Doopity-doo. It's still second last place, but you know, they're just behind Retro Cheetah. Pax will have one big blind more than them. Padilla 5. Simple math. Uh-oh, what the hell just happened there? Lex opens up the ace and the 2, and then it skips on through. Okay, he's at 31 blinds. Looks like he just gets the raise through. It's a 3 and a 5. And an 8 and a 4 in the big blind. Sorry we had to repeat that so many times. Padilla with an ace and a 10. They'll raise it on up. Pads will defend the big blind with 7-3 suited. King 3-2 flop goes check. Check. No, Padilla puts in a little betski here. 1.8 blinds. Pads makes the call. Queen on the turn. Padilla picks up a straight card or straight outs to the jack. Doopity-doo. Padilla without a diamond. It's an interesting spot. They do go for the big betski here, and it looks like this will buy the pot unless Pads gets real sticky with that pair of 3s. Nicely done, Padilla. Without a diamond, it's a very interesting spot for them. They still take it. Go for the big bet. Put a lot of pressure on Pads. Get that pair of 3s to fold, and we move along. Herring Boy with the ace and the 5. Off 24 blinds, they'll raise it on up. Pax defends the big blind with a king and a queen. 9-6-2 flop goes lead fold. Beautiful little steal by Pax. Just unexpected. Padilla with an ace and a 5 will raise it on up. Lex with a couple of aces. Pads with 10s. Pads does just call the raise pre-flop. It's an under the gun raise. Doopity-doo. Pads on the button. Lex chilling in the big blind with those aces. Raises it up to 9 blinds. Like, Padilla could 4-bet all in, but I just don't think it's going to happen. And pads could do the same thing. A little bit more likely to happen. Does he just call? Or is it a jam or fold spot? Very interesting for pads. Hard to call 7 more blinds there, so I feel like it's a spot where you rip it all in or you fold. Pad says, I'm just going to let the 10s go. Do-ba-do-do-do-do-ba-do. So that king-queen lead is super interesting. It was 9-6-3, was it? 9-6 low card anyways. King and a queen leads on out. Herring boy folds the ace-5. Super interesting happening. Excuse me. Lip piv with a 6 and a 6. We'll raise it on up. Zola with a 5 and a 5. They're thinking about coming along, and they do find the call. Packs with an ace and a queen, 28 blinds. They're going to rip it all in. I imagine they get it on through as well. We'll see if Lip Piv comes along with the 6s. Nope. And we see Zola, of course, is flipping with those 5s. 54% for them, but they're still going to find the fold there. Jack for pads. A couple of 5s for packs. Ace and a 3 for Retro Cheetah in the big blind. We'll see if they defend. Boopity boo. Mid position raise. Doopity doo 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 doo. Retro Cheetah goes for the 3-bet. Oh, that's a beautiful play. It's not going to work out this time, but we love to see this. Retro Cheetah just trying to lean on pads. Pads plays call. King 10 2 flop. 2 spades, so Retro Cheetah's got the backdoor flush draw, backdoor straight draws. Boopity boo. He goes for a little Betsky. 3.3 blinds. Man, hopefully pads hangs in there. 7 on the turn. I don't know if Retro Cheetah blasts off on the turn here. Does he? I don't know, Retro. It might work. He goes for the check. He slows down. Looks like it'll be a nice pot going pads way, providing there's no ace on the river. I don't know if pads bets either. He does go for a little wee Betsky. 10% pot. And the bet gets through. Ace queen for packs. They'll go for a 3x raise. Lip piv in the big blind with king 9 offsuit. Might just find the fold. We'll see if they defend or not. Do-betty-do. They do just lay it down. Jack 8 suited for Zola's. Thinking about an open, but they're going to lay this down pre-flop. Ace and an 8 for Retro Cheetah. Pads is thinking about the king 9 offsuit. Under the gun +1, he's just going to lay it down. King deuce suited for Padilla is going to go for the open. Interesting spot for Retro Cheetah now on the button with that ace 8 suited. They're going to find the fold. King Jack off for Padilla. That's not Padilla. That's Lip Piv. My bad. They're going to go for the 3-bet-ski. And Padilla. Boopity boo. 5 blinds to the call. Says I'm just going to fold, of course. King and a jack of the same suit for Milanov. This is an interesting spot for them off 15 blinds. What do we do here, Milanov? They do just rip it all in. Retro Cheetah with a couple of 7s. Finds the fold considering Milanov covers him. Lip Piv with an ace and a queen of the same suit. Herring boy with an ace and a queen of the same suit. Is going to find the fold. Uh-oh. I suppose it's a very difficult call. Jack 8 flop. Lip Piv does not make a flush. Boopity boo. Milanov gets the full double. Nice fold by Herring boy. They did cover Milanov, so it's kind of tempting, you know, to go for that $2,500 bounty. With that being said, when Lip Piv makes the call, that ace queen looks pretty shitty. Because, like, at best, Milanov, we see had king jack suited, so I would imagine there could be some king queen suited as well. And then the thing is, what about Lip Piv's calling range? Like, that's not going to be ace 5 suited, you know? It's not going to be queen 10 suited. They do have a queen 10 suited this hand. So what is it going to be? Like, the queen jack suited probably hits the muck too. King queen suited for Lip Piv. What do we think about that? Are they going to go bounty hunting for 15 blinds? I don't even think they're going to call there. Even though we see Milanov jam the king jack suited. It's a very interesting spot. As we see a check raise, not get through. Lip piv facing the all-in on the turn, picking up a pair of tens. Looks like a pretty easy fold with their straight draw to the jack. Doopity doo 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 doo. Packs with that top pair, getting it on through. Boopity boo. Lip piv with an ace and a king. So back to Lip piv's calling range. Like what I'm thinking is like we got like some maybe ace jack suited plus. What about the pocket pairs? Where are we gonna start there? Is it tens plus? Is it nines plus? Man, I need to work on my ranges. Doopity doo 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 doo. 9-4-2 flop goes check bet fold. Lip piv takes it with the ace and the king. Doopity doo. You know what? That's why I'm watching these freaking videos. I'm here to learn, right? I think that's why we all come to watch these videos. BCP poker replays. Cali poker. Boopity boo. There's some other ones too out there. Much older content, those other ones, the ones that are not as known, but it's always fun to go check back and watch some old replays. Pads making 2 pair here. Milanov with a pair of tens. 9 blinds in the middle. Pads will go for a big Betsky, I imagine. The board is rainbow, so he doesn't have to go super large, but he does still size up to 6.8 blinds so we can jam on the river. Milanov folds and we're moving along. 10-10 for pads. Packs with a couple of jacks. Goes for a tiny little 3-bet. Hopefully pads doesn't go all in. Plays call. Super interesting flop. 4-3-2. Packs goes for a huge Betsky. Pads is in trouble. Out of position. Do we check raise? We check fold. What a beautiful play by pads. Holy shit, there's been a few of those. And he's hanging in there with 38 blinds. That's second place position. Ooh. Beautiful shit from pads. Excuse me. Couple of queens for Lex. Zola with an ace and a 10 goes for the open. Lex flats. 7-10 comes along. Makes 3 of a kind. It's a little unfair. What do we do with queen here? Lex appropriately has the image of himself crying. He is not going to be too happy once he sees this. Had he 3-bet pre-flop, it's probably going to go just fold. As we see Zola let go of the ace and the 10. Facing this, it's so tiny, it's so disrespectful. Lex comes along, ace in the turn. Doopity doo, 16 blinds in the middle, 16 blinds behind. We'll see how Lip piv goes about this one. Bet super small, 3.8 blinds. Lex looking for a queen. And only a queen. 8 of diamonds on the river. Lip piv still has that 3 of a kind. Surely they stick in their last 12 blinds. And then what the hell do we do with a couple of queens? I don't know. Lip piv actually doesn't stick in their whole stack, which is very interesting. This is going to put Lex in a pickle. So you're either going to stick it in for the last 0.3 blinds, or you're just going to fold. Lex finds the call, actually. Whoa. Of all the options, I thought calling was not on. Whoa, Lex says call? Lex is right, but like, what do we... Why would we leave the last 0.3 blinds there? Of all the options. Why don't we go for the 10k bounty? Somebody let me know. Because I'm confused about that one. Because as I said before Lex made his decision, it's either you stick it all in or you fold. Lex says, no, Brendan, you're just wrong. The one option that you neglected to look at. But I looked at it. I was like, why would we call? There's a 10k bounty there. I don't know. Retro Cheetah with an ace and a queen rips it all in. Pads with a couple of tens. Could go bounty hunting. $6,400 bounty on Retro Cheetah's head. Doopity doo. Pads does call. Ace on the flop. Any tens dealer? Nope. 27 blinds for Retro Cheetah. Pads down to 25. We still haven't lost the body, which is super cool. Lip Piv with an ace and an 8 in the big stack. They're going to raise it on up. Zola with an ace and a jack in the small blind. Doopity doo. They're going to go for the call, giving Pads the opportunity to come along as well with the 9-6 suited. Queen 10-3 flop goes check, check, and then we'll see if Lip Piv puts in a c-bet here. Rainbow board, queen high. There's lots of draws out there. There's straight draws out there. Zola with the straight draw to the king. Sees a small betski. They're going to go for the call. Pads can let go of the 9-6 suited. Doopity doo. Is he thinking about a raise? It would work if he did stick it in, but he didn't, of course, because he had 9-6 of hearts. 4 of clubs on the turn goes check. Then do we continue our bluff here? Do it, Lip. They're going to go for the check and make a pair of 8s on the river. That works as well. Lip Piv will take a nice pot here. They could get bluffed off of it. Zola with a jack. Jack 9, king jack. We're blocking both of those. We're going to go for a little bet. Okay, this... I don't know. Let Piv teach me a thing or two. What do we do? They do still find the call with the pair of 8s on the river. And Zola says, man, I wish I had bet bigger. Small bet just wasn't going to get the job done. Although we do still like to play by Zola to throw in a little bet. Which would have been nice if it was bigger. But then to be fair, in Zola's shoes, they're saying they've got a single pair. When you bet smaller, it's just you've got a wider range, right? It gives you the opportunity to have more value hands. So then, well, you hope Lip Piv puts you on some sort of queen or 10 there. Had you bet big, they're going to put you solely on a queen, maybe. Queen or better. Boopity boo. So Zola wanted to make it look like they could have been value betting a 10. Lip Piv called down with the 8 and saw the good news. Do. Herring boy with a couple of deuces off 14 blinds will let those go. Pads with an ace and a king of the same suit sees an open from Zola. Let's stick it all in, right? We could go for a non-all-in 3-bet, I suppose. Do we ever call? I don't think so. Ace-king suited off 20 blinds. Pad says just stick it all in. Which makes a lot of sense. Because do you 3-bet the like 5 blinds? You're in position? Doopity-doo. Doopity-doo. It's ace-king suited. So if there's a hand you're going to do it with... Seems like the appropriate one, but off 20 blinds again, Pad says all-in dealer. King 9 suited for Lip Piv, they're going to go for the open. Milanov in the big blind with a 10-7 off, we'll let this go. Ace 9 suited for Zola, just going to find the fold, unfortunately playing off 21 blinds, they just don't have the chips to play, the hand. Pads with a couple of 7s is going to go for the limp. Milanov in the small blind with a couple of 4s can come along to the flop. 8-3 off for Retro Cheetah. Ace 8-7 flop goes check, check. Some sort of bet. What size? 2.9 into 4 big blinds. Retro Cheetah does just let go of the 8 on the flop. I see a couple of jacks in the big blind. Pads with an ace and a 10 of the same suit. Hard to let this go. They go for the limp again. Let Piv with those jacks in the big blind. We'll see what they do. Probably going to raise it up to, what, 4 blinds? Some big, 4.6. Boopity boo, do. Then pad says, what do we do? Don't rip it in. They do just find the fold. Couple of the 7s for pads. We'll see if they limp it in again. They do go for another limp. Ace 9 for retro cheetah. Could stick in some sort of raise, but they're going to pass on the spot. Ace 9 off. Doesn't necessarily seem like the hand we want to play with right now. Ace king 8 flop. 3 ways herring boy. With not much. 3 in a row, so backdoor straight draws. Lit piv, the backdoor straight draw. Queen high. Pads takes it down with a little bet ski on the flop. Padilla with an ace and a 9 of the offsuit again. Off 21 blinds. We're probably going to let this go, but Padilla does like to open the hand. Open hands. They like to open a lot of hands, but they're going to fold. Wow, that was difficult for me to say. I'm sorry. Retro cheetah with a couple of 3s. They let that go off 21 blinds. Those pocket pairs become much less valuable once you're super short. 21 blinds. And you got Herring Boy in the small blind with 11 bigs. You got Zola with 19. You got Lex with 10. 3s become rather shit. Retro cheetah with a queen and a 10 says this one's good enough for a little limp. King 3 in the big blind for pads. We're gonna go for a little raise, aren't we? Deep in the tank. Finds the check. Ace king 10 flop. Goes check. You might just check this pair of 10s. We do have a straight draw to the jack. Queen would give us 2 pair. We see the 7 of spades on the turn. I suppose another check is coming in. 6 of clubs on the river. And I suppose this just goes check, check. Pads takes a small pot. Queen 10 for lit piv. They're going to go for the open off 55 blinds. And get it on through. Doopity doo. Herring boy with a couple of 5s. We'll see what they do off 11.5 bigs. They cover Lex in the big blind, and that's a 6k bounty. So they're going to rip it all in. And get it on through. You see, in that spot, the little pocket pair becomes a little bit more valuable. You cover Lex in the big blind. You just got to get through 3 other players. As we see Lex ripping the ace 9 from the small blind. Jack 6 suited has 40% we see against this ace 9. So Padilla finds the call. Bunch of 9s on the flop. All good news for Lex. He's up to 19 blinds now. Padilla down to 11. Gotta say we like to see the call there. Let's throw some chips around. Ace and a jack for Herring Boy. They're gonna raise it on up. Man, I feel so bad. I'm just pronouncing it wrong, right? Herring. I don't know how to say it. So my apologies. But I'm gonna stick with it, you know? Because I don't know what else to say. Herring Boy goes for a little bet here on the King 9-6 flop. Milanov is open-ended. Let's go for a check raise. He just plays call. Jack on the turn. That's a pair for Herring Boy. He's got that middle pair, top kicker. Goes for the check on the turn. Milanov makes a pair of 8s. Lots of straights out there. Lots of 2 pairs out there. In the end, this will go check, check. And the ace jack scoops a little pot. Nine for pads off 30 blinds. We'll see if he goes for the limp. That he does. Sticking with a limp strategy. If somebody raises, the pot's going to be smaller. If somebody raises, are we folding 9-9? Unfortunately, we're not going to get the chance to see it. But it's super interesting. 8-4 checks it on back. Ace 10 5 flop goes check. Small bet, and the bet gets through. Oh, a couple of queens for pads. Do we limp them in too? Lit piv in the big blind with a couple of jacks. Pad says off 33 blinds, we're going to go for the raise. Lit piv with those jacks in the big blind. Do we just call? Man, feels so worrisome now that pads opened up the 2 blinds. Lip Piv says, I'm not worried at all. I got Jack Jack. Let's go for the 3 bet here. Pads play call. Let's go take this post flop. He goes for the 4 bet. Lip Piv with the 4th best hand in poker. What do? We typically dunk this in. Could go bounty hunting. That we do. No help for Lip Piv. Pads gets the full double. They're up to 67 blinds. Now they've got a 7 suited. Are we limping or are we raising? Let me know, Pads. They're going to go for the min raise. Yes, we like to see it. Queen Jack suited for packs will come along. 10-4-3 flop goes check. Packs with 3 in a row. We'll check it back. 8 on the turn. Goes check. Check. 10 on the river. Ace high is good, providing pads doesn't fold. But there's a little bet. That's not a little bet. That's a big bet. We like to see this from packs. 4.3 blinds into 6.7. And the bet gets through. Nicely done. 3-3 for packs. Playing off 46 blinds, they're going to let it go from early position. King, queen off for Lip Piv on the button. We'll raise it on up. Zola in the big blind, Jack 10 off. Let's go to the flop. Doopity-doo. Ace, queen 6. Goes check. Lip Piv with that middle pair. Do we check it back? We could go for a little bet here. 1.2 blinds, that's little enough. Zola with a straight draw. To the king. Might just find the call here, given such a great price. Oh, pink. 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 King of spades on the turn. Lip Piv makes 2 pairs. Zola the nut straight. So Lip Piv obviously needs a king or queen. Checks back the turn. Very nicely done. This pot is not going to get as large as I thought. Though, to be fair, Zola could just jam here. 8 blinds in the middle, 15 behind. He goes 3.1. Lip Piv, I think, just calls, right? We don't want to value on ourselves against a7, a6. Doopity-doo. Is 6-7 going to call if we... Oh, Lip Piv's all in. Going for the bounty, damn it. I'm just wrong. Lip Piv says go for the bounty, Brendan. I thought they were going to get saved seeing the bet on the river. Of course you lose solely to 10 Jack, and of course I can see... Not, you don't solely lose to 10 Jack. I was going over some of the 2 pairs you lose to. A6, A7. So Zola with the straight, we can obviously see it. So maybe that goes into my reasoning for why I think Lip Piv's just going to call. But with that being said, I really wish just to see a little call there. 3.3 blinds. Lip Piv would have moved along with like 21. They would have been sitting just fine. Would have been a very small pot they lost. Very unlucky spot for Lip Piv. They go for the bounty. 9k. It's very, very enticing. Padilla with a couple of 7s now. They're going to stick in most of their stack. 7 blinds with 3.7 behind. I think this gets through. Pax has a couple of 3s. He says, no, I'm going bounty hunting. Let's go frickin' try to flip. But there's no flip. Doopity-doo. Pax ended up playing the board. Padilla with the 7s. They hold on up. They're up to 23 blinds. Retro treated with an ace and a 10. Lip Piv with an ace and a 10 of the same suit. They're going to rip it all in. This will get called. Nobody's going to make a flush. They chop up the blinds and antes. 7 deuce for Zola. Was just looking away from the screen for a moment. Padilla gets a walk with an ace and a 7. Lip Piv with an ace and a deuce of the same suit. Whew, if they stick it in, things could get interesting, but I don't... Maybe it just folds the packs. Does somebody go bounty hunting? That's $10,000. Like, does pads come along with the 4 deuce suited? No. Pads is playing just their A game. Queen on the flop. No diamond on the turn. Lip Piv is Gonzo Alonzo. First one gone. Everybody gets a little ladder. Ace and a 7 for pads. We'll open it on up. Lex with an ace and a 10. Do we just fold? Uh-oh. Don't fold. Wow, I do fold. 16.5 blinds. We just fold and move along. 6-5 suited for Retro Cheetah in the big blind. We'll see if they come along to the flop. Very playable hand, but we do want to preserve our chips right now, so Retro Cheetah says fold. 9-7 suited for pads. They're going to raise it on up. Padilla with those ducks. Letting them go. Ace and an 8 for packs. They're going to raise it on up. Retro Cheetah with a king 10 off is going to let this one go, of course. Zola with an ace and an 7 in the big blind. They've got a stack to play with. 35 blinds. Packs with 40. 9-4-3 flop goes check. Big bet, about half pot. And Zola is in a weird spot. Backdoor straight draw, backdoor flush draw. They're going to find the call, king of clubs on the turn. Goes check, check, jack on the river. The 8 still plays. Bluff Zola. You got that 7 of hearts in your hand. That's very, very powerful card. They're going to check and see the bad news. I mean, the ace of hearts is much more powerful than the 7 of hearts, but I was just trying to muster up a bluff. Even though, of course, this is a replay and it happened a year or so ago. So, there's no harnessing any energy, you know what I mean? Even though I try. Just, it's not gonna happen. It's a replay. This has happened in the past. Anyways, moving along. Retro Cheetah with a couple of 7s. Doopity-doo. 16 blinds for them. They're going to go for the 2.2x open. I think they get this through preflop. And they do. I see aces for Lex. Ace 3 for Padilla. This could get all in pre-flop. Lex goes for the limp. Padilla might just rip it in for the 6k bounty. Real quickly they do. Any king will chop it up. 9 would have been a chop, but we see the upside down 9 on the river. Padilla doubles up Lex. They're up to 24 blinds. Padilla down to 6 with a 9k bounty on their head. We could see some fireworks shortly. Ace and a jack for Herring Boy. Herring Boy, they're going to rip it all in. 11 blinds. Queen jack suited for packs. I don't think we go bounty hunting. 6k bounty, shoosh. Would be nice, but queen jack suited hits them up. Pads with a queen and a 9. We'll see if they open it on up off the big stack. They are going to. 6-7 for Milanov. Why did I think he was going to call? He's got 12 blinds. And wow. Sometimes I surprise myself. Ace and a 8 for packs. They're going to open it on up. Solo with a couple of 4s in the big blind. Closing the action, we can come along to the flop. Jack 8-3 rainbow. Goes check. Small bet? No, packs goes for a half pot size bet. Zolo with a 3 of a kind draw. No backdoor straight draw. 4-4. We're just gonna let this one go. King for Padilla off the short stack. Milanov with a couple of 9s. They're gonna go bounty hunting. Rip it all in with your 9 and your 9. Very unfortunate timing to pick up the... just kidding. Very fortunate time to pick up the 9s. As we see Milanov flop a set. Padilla out in what, 8th place? How many players started off on this final table? Let's do a count. 2, 4, 6, 7. Padilla's out in 8th. Queen 7 suited for Lex in the big blind. We'll see if Pax puts any pressure on him. Nah, let's go with a 7-5. So Milanov, did we just get a 9k bounty? That's a huge bounty. Boopity boo. Get a little ladder, but more importantly some chips. Wasn't a huge pot. Padilli only had about six or so blinds. A little bit less than that. As we see Lex 3 bet the ace 7 suited. Putting a lot of pressure on threes. They're probably going to find the fold. And they do. 8-8 for Lex. Don't see any other playable hands. Retro Cheetah in the big blind with a jack 6 offsuit. No limp, so he's going to let this go. Ace 3 suited for pads. Herring Boy in the big blind with a couple of fives. Retro Cheetah with jack 10 off in the small blind. We'll let this go very swiftly. Would be interesting to see him with a couple of suited hands there. Jack 10 suited. Do we call? No, we probably just fold, so it wouldn't be interesting at all. As we see pads flop 3 of a kind, take it on down on the flop. And he picks up some aces. Packs with an ace 2 suited, thinking about a 3 bet, but we'll find the fold. Zola in the big blind with 7 deuce off. So the best hand and the worst hand. Pads takes it down pre-flop. Ace and a 2 in the big blind for pads. King 10 off for Zola in the small. I think we play call. Limp it on in. Yes, he does. Pad says check. Queen, queen, 6 flop goes. Check, check, maybe? Yep, 4 clubs on the turn. Does Zola ever put in a little bluff here with the king high? He does put in a little bet. I suppose this is as effective as a value bet as well, because you're still getting called by straight draws. You aren't getting the ace high to fold. That's clear. King on the river goes check, check. And Zola takes a small pot. King queen for Lex. It's suited. They'll raise it on up. Packs in the big blind with an ace and a 9 and plenty of chips to play with. They say let's just fold it. Pads with a jack and a 7. We'll see if they open it on up. 2.5 blinds. Nice. That raise will get through. Man, Pads is playing a strong game. They really deserve to get the W here. Or at least to scoop a few bounties. Looks like Milanov will get a walk. Nope, Lex is gonna limp in the 4-3 off. Ace 9 4 flop goes bet. And then what do we do with queen high? We might just fold. Milanov says let's go to the turn. Ace of diamonds on the turn. Interesting card. Doopity doo. Lex will feel comfortable with his pair of 4s. He's going to check it on over. Prepared to call a bet, I would imagine. 3 on the river. We could try to get called by king highs, but Lex says we'll just take our 4s to showdown and scoop a small pot. Ace 8 for packs off 35 blinds. 36 blinds, sorry. What does it matter? You're going to raise and take it down pre. I see a king jack for Herring Boy in the big blind. Zola with ace 9 under the gun does go for the open here off 22 bigs. Does Herring Boy defend the big blind? They do. Jack 3 2 flop. Good news for Herring Boy. Flop goes check. Small bet. Does Herring Boy rip it in? It's such a dry board. I would love to see a call. Let's just take this to the turn. He goes for this super small check raise. Zola says, well, I'm in a pickle. They're going to find the call. 7 on the turn. 11 blinds in the middle. Only 5 behind. Herring Boy will rip it all in on the turn, I would imagine. They do. With 93%. Zola's priced out of a call. They find the fold. Doopity doo. Herring Boy up to 15 blinds. That's good news for him. Now ahead of Milanov. Now ahead of Retro Cheetah. Just barely behind Zola. Very good spot for Herring Boy. He could get a bounty or two. Boopity boo. It's got a couple of queens. Ah, but no action. 3-2 for pads. Do we defend the big blind? I doubt it, but come on, let's go to the flop. Give Herring Boy a chip. Do it now. Ah, no, we did not. Herring Boy with a couple of... Oh, no, that's a queen and a jack. I suppose I could have said a couple of Broadway cards. Pads with ace 10 will call from the small. Jack 7-7 flop goes check. Bet. Call. Pads goes for the raise. We love to see this. Herring Boy with the queen and the jack is going nowhere. Pads has the backdoor straight draw, backdoor flush draw. Deuce of diamonds on the turn will slow him right down. Does Herring Boy check and give him a free river? Only sweating the aces. He actually goes for a little bet ski because there's actually a lot of draws out there. 10-9, 10-8. Flush draw. Boopity boo. Herring Boy takes it down with a small bet on the turn. They're up to 25 blinds. They have a queen and a 10. They're going to go for another open pads with a couple of 9s. We can play call again. Doopity doo. Jack 8-7 flop. Interesting stuff. Herring Boy with a straight draw to the 9. Couple of overcards to the 9s. Doopity doo. Herring Boy just check folds. Thought we were going to see some action, but nope. Pads just takes it down with a little bet on the flop. Pads is thinking about it with 10-7 offsuit. They're going to let this go. Pax with a suited king will let go of that on the button. Lex will limp in 10-7 suited, sorry. Wow. Ace for Milanov. Or raise it on up. King 7-6 flop. Interesting. 6 blinds in the middle. We'll see what size Milanov goes on the flop. 1.5. We love to see this. Lex is going along to the turn. 3 of hearts. 9.5 blinds in the middle. There's so many draws out there. 5-4 makes a straight, but like only Lex is going to have that. And he's not going to have the offsuit variety. Would he even call 5-4 suited pre-flop? I don't know. A nice fold on the turn anyhow. King 9 for Milanov. Might rip it in here for 10 blinds. 11 blinds, sorry. Does. Retro treated with a queen 7 suited. We see has about 40%. But I think we lay this down. Oh, he calls! 7 on the flop. Queen on the turn. No diamond for chop. Just like that. Retro Cheetah's up to 22 blinds. Surely Milanov's going to be doing that a lot wider than King 9 off. So Retro Cheetah says with the Queen 7 suited, I might just go for it here and now. They were in last place, right? So it's like, why not? Especially if there's going to be a bunch of like 9-7 suited, you know. What if there's some weaker Queen 5s off? Maybe. Probably not. You see, I gotta work on my ranges. But nonetheless, Herring Boy with a couple of aces. No action for him. Queen 5 off surely isn't gonna jam. I think there would be... My thinking is there should be a lot of limps from the small blind there. But then do you just want to jam for 10 blinds with most of your holdings? I love a limp. I love a limp. Queen 10 makes a boat here. Pads with that boat. Lex making a flush on the river. Bad news for them. 8.4 blinds in the middle. Pads rips it all in. Lex finds the call. Sees the bad news. Pads gets the bounty. What was the size of the bet? 24 blinds into 8. Pads played it beautifully. Pads deserves the bounties, deserves the W, has 87 blinds, has put on one hell of a show, has taught everybody lessons here today. So what's the biggest lesson we can take away from Pads? One of the bigger ones would I think be the 10s versus jacks, where Pax goes for the huge bet on the flop. Pads just finds the fold in one of the spots where he's still one of the middling stacks. Pax, I think, had a sizable stack. So it looked like it might have been one versus position 1 versus position 2. I think Pax was in first. I think Pads was in second. And again, big flop on a 4-3-2 flop. Pax goes for the big betski. After he 3-bets pre-flop. Pads with a couple of 10s, just folds on the flop. He says, fuck this spot. I'm done with it. As we see Herring Boy make a pair of fours. Herring Boy making a pair of fours. Yeah, because I said his name all fucked up. I couldn't say 4 properly. Oh god, what a horrific show today. I'm sorry. Pads with an ace and a 4 is saving the day. Again, teaching us stuff. So yeah, like I was saying about the fold, I think Pads' main thought there is I can just find better spots. The whole point of being on this final table right now is to look to scoop a bounty or something. Wait for a spot to scoop a bounty as he's got 4-8 facing the 11 big blind jam. It isn't necessarily to play out of position against the first place position and lose a big pot to them. That's not the point of his stack at that point in time of being. It's beautiful. And then we seen him do a whole bunch of limping, which was super fun too. Like 7s a bunch. He went for a bet with 7s on some sort of like Queen XX board. Took it down on the flop. Just to protect his hand. It was a super small bet. So he kept the pot small with his limps. That's super fun. And like still not afraid to bet to protect his equity. So fun show by Pads. Horrific commentary by Brendan. But we're all just gonna move along. Hopefully the show gets a little bit better over time. A7 suited for Pax. They're gonna raise it on up. Retro treat it with a couple of jacks. Do we dunk it in? He says I'm gonna stick in half my stack. So effective jam. I suppose it looks like we can fold if Herring Boy jams and Zola jams. And I suppose if that did happen and then Pax jams, we'd probably fold our jacks. So that's why we stick in half our stack. Pax lays down the A7 suited. Zola with 10-7 suited. Let's limp it on in. You see, I love a good limp. Pads with ace queen, the big stack. Probably going to raise to put some pressure on Zola. 3.6 blinds. And the raise will get through. Blinds go up. Doopity-doo. King 7 for Pads. We'll see what he does against Pax. I love a limp, but I think Pads will go for the raise here. 2.1 blinds, pretty disrespectful. But Pax is in a weird spot where you can't do much against it. We got Milanov chilling with 3.3 blinds with 1 in the middle. Pax just can't do anything against that little ass raise. Ace 5 will raise and take it down pre-flop for Pads. They're up to 77 blinds. Doopity-doo. The next biggest stack is 21. Herring Boy and Pax are tied. Then we got, of course, Retro Cheetah chilling on out with 17 blinds. With 1 in the middle. We'll see if he defends the big blind. He says nope. Zola with 11 and Queen and a Jack will just have to fold under the gun. They have a 9k bounty on their head. They're saving themselves for a good spot as we see Pax jam in the Ace King for about 20 blinds and it gets on through. Ace and a Queen for Milanov. This is a good spot for them. They get it all in. Pax with the Queen Jack. Zola with 4-10 suited is going to call pretty well. Pax is forced to call as well. 9-9-5 flop goes check King on the turn. Pax with a straight draw. 6 on the river. Milanov gets a triple up. They're up to 8.4 blinds. Zola down to 8.2. Doopity-doo. Retro Cheetah with an ace. They're going to let this go off 16 blinds. And Pax will just get a walk. Ace Jack for Retro Cheetah. This is an interesting spot. 16.5 blinds. They're going to go for the 2.2x open again. And the open gets through. So that's good news for Retro Cheetah. They get a 7 and a deuce in the big blind. So good thing they got one through last hand. Doopity-doo. Jack 3 suited for Retro Cheetah. They'll limp it on in. King 3 checks it back. Queen Jack 2 flop. 1 club for Herring Boy. Goes check check. Queen on the turn goes check check. 9 on the river. We see a big bet by the pair of jacks and the king high folds. Pads raising 2.5 blinds now with 8-10 off. Putting everybody in a pickle. Zola with ace 3 in the big blind. Could stick this in. He finds the fold. Looking for a better hand to stick it all in with. Again, he's got that huge bounty on his head. Not gonna offer it up for nothing. 6-6 for Retro Cheetah. 3-3 for Herring Boy. Gonna fold. Once we see the open 2.4x. Pads with a 4 deuce in the big blind. Surely we let this go as well. King 8 off, or King 8 suited for Milanov. What the hell is wrong with me? Ooh, it is certainly suited. He's gonna find the fold off 6 blinds. He thought about it for a minute. Zola with King 9 will stick it all in from the button. 7-5 for Pax in the big blind. We'll see if he goes bounty hunting. Has about 36% we see. $9,000 bounty and Pax just folds. Excuse me. Ace and a 10 for Pads. They'll raise it on up. Pax with an ace and an 8 I would imagine folds. Milanov in the big blind with Queen 6 off. Probably gonna let it go as well. Although we're in a weird spot with 5 blinds, do we ever just call there super wide, hope to make a pair, stick it all in, or do we just preserve our stack? With what little we have left, maybe we just preserve our stack and move along. 5-5 for Zola off the 7 big blinds. They're gonna stick it all in. Pads with ace jack. I think we go bounty hunting. They do. Ace or jack dealer, ace on the turn, that will do, and no 5 for Zola, so they're gonzo Alonzo. Pads gets another bounty, well-deserved bounty, although we got it in flipping. Pads playing super well, giving us the opportunity to learn here today how to take down a final table. Ace 7 for Herring Boy, ace 7 for Pads, all in, and I think a fold. Pads says call, Brendan. Jack 8-4 flop. There was 2 hearts out there. Herring Boy flopped the backdoor flush draw, but it did not come to fruition. Ace Jack from Milanov. They'll rip it all in. Eight 6 goes bounty hunting. Another well-deserved bounty. 8 on the turn, 6 on the river. All good news for Pads. Just has the big stack, so he says, let me go bounty hunting. Let me see this freaking flop. I don't care if I double you up. It was what, like 5 blinds? If that. 6-3 off goes for a 3-bet. Pax will fold the king queen suited. And Herring Boy has to fold the king 10 off. King queen, do we just jam? Nope. Too strong of a hand. It's super playable. Pad says goes for the open. Jacks get a walk. That's bad news for Pads. Jack 9 suited for Retro Cheetah. Ace 2 suited for Herring Boy. Jack 9 suited goes for the big raise. Herring Boy folds. Jack 10 calls from the small. Ace King 7 flop goes check. Small bet. Call. 2 on the turn. Jack 10 still best. We got chop outs. Right? No, I don't think we do. I don't think we got chop outs. Jack 10's gonna play. Jack 10 is gonna play. 8.7 blinds in the middle. Pads rips it all in as a bluff and gets it on through. 6-10 for Pads off 100 big blind stack. They'll raise it on up. Playing 18 blinds effective. 7-3 for Pads. They'll raise it on up. Retro Cheetah with an ace and a 7. Herring Boy in the big blind with a couple of ducks. Plays call. Ace 8-6 flop. Super interesting. Small bet by Pads will get through. Doopity doo. Couple of 6s for Pads. He'll jam it all in. And packs with a king and a 9 is in a weird spot. We're going to fold. Look at those other 2 short stacks. Look at them. We just find the fold. 11 blinds and 9 blinds. Pack's sitting there with 16. We just have to fold. Herring Boy will jam the ace 10 suited and get it on through. Do-bitty-do-do-do-bitty-do. 2 and a 3 for pads. They are just going to lay this down. Retro Cheetah will rip in Queen 7 suited and get it on through. Aces for Retro Cheetah. They're going to look to get a double up here. Pads with a couple of 8s. Boopity boo. We'll see some sort of open. We could limp maybe? No, he goes 2.3 blinds. Pads plays call. King, Queen 7 flop. I thought Pads would rip it all in. What a beautiful play by Pads. He's on fire. Do we just check fold on the flop? Nope. Okay, we check call for 1. 9 blinds in the middle. The determining factor is, can we get away from the 8s here? All in from Retro Cheetah. There's still the flush draws and the straight draws. Namely, Ace Jack, Ace 10, Jack 10, Hearts. Boopity boo, the bet gets through on the turn. Nicely done by Pads. I would have ripped it all in pre-flop and doubled up Retro Cheetah. Ooh, wow. Playing 8s out of position is difficult. But Pad says, no, it's not, Brendan. Let me just show you how to do it. As we see the 5-8 rip it all in. Ace Jack calls. We got spade draw. Spades come on the turn. No boat for Herring Boy. They're out in 4th place. Very well played game. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your name properly. Feels good to get that off my chest. 7-7 for packs. They'll jam it all in. 6-10 for pads. We'll find the fold. Do-buddy-do, Herring Boy. Very well played game. 4th place is a damn shame. It would have been cool to see them get not 3rd, 2nd place. Get the big score. But Retro Cheetah's playing a damn good game, and packs as well. Seems like everybody's deserving of the W and some more bounties. But pads with an ace and a king will bet and get it through on the Queen 3-2 flop. Queen Jack for Retro Cheetah. They stick in half their stack, and the raise gets through. 5-4 for pads will raise. Cheetah rips in ace 8 and gets it on through. Uh-oh. Ace Queen versus ace 10. Limp? Does pads find a way to escape here? Goes for the small raise, 2.8 blinds. Retro Cheetah will jam. And you call. And you oh, flush. Oh, a flush, no problem. No problem for pads. Top pair for Retro Cheetah, but that's no good. They're out in 3rd place. Played a very good game. As we see packs ripping the ace 5, and that gets through. 9-2 versus queens. The queens get a walk. 7-2 limps it on in. Queen 9 checks back. King 7-4 flop goes check, checked. 6 on the turn. Goes check, bet, call. Deuce on the river. Pads makes 2 pairs and takes it on down with a jam. Straight for packs here. 5 high for pads. No action for packs. We're moving along. 10-2 versus 8-2. 9-5-3 flop goes check, bet, fold. 8-6 versus King 10. The King 10 jams and gets it through. Ace 5 for pads. They jam and get it on through. Queen 8 rips it on in. It's suited. About 50 blinds. 15. Gets it through. Pads limps in the King 2 suited. Packs raises Jack 10. Ace 7 5 flop. 2 diamonds for pads. Packs takes a little stab and slows right down on the deuce turn. 8 on the river. Packs doesn't go. 6-7 jams it all in. Sorry, Packs doesn't fire away with the Jack 10. We got a straight versus set, and then pads makes a boat. Congratulations. Oh, sorry, I gotta go back to this hand first. So we get limp, raise, call, ace 7 5 flop, big bet. Pack sizes up a jam. He doesn't go follow through with Ablevsky. That's bad news for him. Had he done that, he would have been not back in the game, but look, he would have had 25 blinds. And you never know what he could do with the 25 blinds, even though pads would still have 129. Rips in the 6-7 off. Pads calls with the 4-4. Flop straight versus set. Boat on the turn. deads, packs, and just like that, pads gets the W. So the 4-4 is 10 blinds. I guess you're just flipping so much that you may as well call. Just look to end the show. It's super interesting because you also don't really want to double them up. You don't want him to have 20 blinds, but with that being said, it's not as if he's jamming 20 blinds. So like, what about 15 bigs? Do you just fold 4s for 15 bigs? Man, somebody just let me know all the answers to my questions, please and thank you. And if nobody wants to take the time to do that, I don't blame you. With that being said, I suppose that's the end of the show. Thanks for checking this shit out. Hopefully we'll see you in another one. Until then, adios amigos.